because a stance is a matter of convenience. If you're sitting in a car, bad guy comes at you, it's really very, very impossible to tell him, wait a minute, dude, you need to stop because I need to get in my super duper ninja gunfighting stance, and then I'm going to shoot you. Okay, so stance being a matter of convenience. But when standing, the stance that you're going to find yourself in is a weight forward, legs bent stance. Okay, the why behind this is when you get startled, if you come at somebody to punch them in the face and you recognize it, you're going to go, try to get out of the way. In order for your body to move quickly like that, you have to lower your center of gravity. It's an instinctive response. Okay. I've done experiments on my staff where I work with this. Got a big picture window, and I'll take a paper towel and throw it at that window as hard as I can. Get their attention. They're going like this, and this thing is coming at them. Never one time have I seen somebody not flinch, go like this, their weight goes forward, their knees are bent. Okay? Once you get into this position and we get you extended and shooting, you're going to find that it really helps with recoil control. Having your weight behind the gun, you're able to take those good rapid follow-up shots. That's something that you're more than likely going to need in the context of the fight. Okay? Questions on that? Stand. Weight forward, shoulders in front of your hips, knees slightly bent. Get it? Your muzzle is oriented at or below your line of sight. Extend out. If you see what happens when Jason extends out, it's just like throwing a punch. It's a natural movement. It's a punch out. You have one command that your brain sends to your shoulder, down your shoulder, into your arm, through your chest, and all these muscle groups right here. It's out. Okay? Out. Go. You don't have to think about it. The gun is in your line of sight. Go to extension again. Gun is in your line of sight. You can see it. Okay, you can recognize that you have the gun in your hand and where it's pointed and where it's oriented, and it's parallel with your line of sight. Drop the gun down and point the muzzle up. Now
drop the gun down.
Yeah, go like that. Now go like that. Parallel with your line of sight, but not in your line of sight. Put the gun back in your line of sight. Point the muzzle up. Not parallel with your line of sight. You got to understand the concept in and parallel. If everybody takes their hands and looks at the target and goes like this, you'll be able to see your hands, you'll be able to recognize where your fingers are at, and you'll still be able to see the target here and the threat. Okay? You want to focus on the threat. This is where your brain is going to be putting your processing anyway, right here on the threat, because you want to stop that bad guy. Okay? You're gathering information. All right, go to extension again. Both arms fully locked out at the elbow and at the shoulder. This is where a lot of students have a physical limitation. That's okay. Back to the ready position. What we're going to do is we're going to get you as close to that as we possibly can. All right, by punching that gun straight out. See, I can't even lock my elbow out because of the whole baseball thing. All right. One-handed shooting for me is a little bit more challenging. Another thing that really is a good benefit of the high compressed ready position is weapon retention. If Jason is scanning his environment, doesn't realize that there's a bad guy coming up, and I reach over and try to grab the gun, so all he's got to do is make a small movement. Okay? And if I do happen to get the gun, looking at this area in your body, from bottom of your rib cage up through your shoulders and your arms, you've got an incredible amount of strength right there. And I've had guys come up and demonstrating this, just bear hug the crap out of skinny little old me, right? Dude's built kind of like Jay, you know, nice and stocky and strong and stuff like that, and they're like trying to get the gun, and you go like that, off they go. Okay, it's easy to break somebody out of that with your core strength. Weapons handling in this position is extremely simple. Very efficient. Right up here, you can do everything you need to do up in the ready position. Reload, clear malfunction, all that stuff you can do right there. Okay? It's low fatigue. All right? You can stay in this position for a long period of time. If you go to the urinal position and you're down like this in the low ready, and you try to hold that all day long, well, the first thing you're doing is you're flagging the gun all over the place. When you're in here like so, you can walk around and not be swinging out like this and flagging the gun all over the place. Okay? Boy, turn and face everybody. Guys, look at this right where Jason is at. He's in what's called a modified Sewell position. Okay. Sewell was developed as a, if you guys know anything about Sewell, there's some great research on it. It was developed by the Portuguese. The Portuguese special ops were absolutely pathetic at muzzle control. And they come out with a gun like this out of their van going, hey, where's the bad guy? Right? So this is acceptable for a version of the high compressed ready. Now take the gun and rotate it and put it in the regular high compressed ready. There you go. With that grip already established, okay, is what we're looking at. Now I could get behind Jay and try to get that gun and wouldn't even work. Muzzle orientation is critically important in the ready position, because if somebody happens to get a hold of the gun, point the muzzle up in the air, and I get a hold of it like this, and now we're in a fight for the gun, and the gun goes bang, okay, you see the possibility where you could have some collateral damage. But if the muzzle is pointed down, we get into a fight for the gun goes bang. The only thing that's probably going to get hurt is the ground, right? Somebody might get fragged, yeah, but the chance of getting some lethal injury from that is greatly reduced. Understand all that. Questions on that? Extend. Touch press. After your string of fire, the finger comes out of the trigger guard and off of the trigger, and you go back to the ready position. What we want to do is avoid creating a pattern of I'm going to shoot 2, then I'm going to shoot 3, then I'm going to shoot 2, then I'm going to shoot 3, or always shooting double taps, or always shooting triple taps. Okay, mix it up. The key here is to visualize in your mind a bad guy. Deal with the threat until you visualize the bad guy going down. Don't always make it the same number of shots. Range command is up, 2, 3, or 4 rounds at the high center chest box, back to the ready position. Okay. Target's always going to tell you how precise you need to be. So if you have this, okay, you need to be this precise, ramp up your speed. If you start throwing shots, like so, okay, if you start throwing shots, most of the time it's a fundamental breakdown. You're pressing before you extend. Your shot's going off before you hit extension. You're rushing that shot. Think about it. If you have questions on why you think you might have missed and you run into a pattern of misses, go like this. One of us will sit with you and evaluate it and get you figured out. Does that make sense? Now, begin to go from this, expand it, and fill up that high center chest area. Does that make sense? Up! 2, 3, or 4 rounds. Up! 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 Safely holster. So, lateral movement, at least 1 full body width. Don't move in front of or behind your neighbor. Be very cognizant of your safety on the range. If you crash into your neighbor, that's okay. Don't try to take him out. You bump into him, stand right there. You move laterally this way, and I'm going to move laterally that way. Go. Stay connected. All right? Go through that. Extend, touch, press. Fight that bad guy. Right? You might find yourself in a position where you're in a crowded environment and you try to move laterally and you run into somebody. If all of a sudden it's like, oh, hi, you know, nice shoes. Where'd you get those? At Trade Home, or, you know, like Famous Footwear, or what? There's where you fail and you probably end up getting hurt. Especially, you know, if you're trying to deal with this guy, he sees you got a gun, he's like, oh, there's a dude with a gun. Bang, 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 bang. Right? Of course, bad guys are never as strong, fast, or smart as we are, right? So, at least 1 full body width. When you're reloading, move off the X. Try to keep moving, even if you just go back and forth with, but avoid this. A little happy dance. Okay? Try to avoid that. Does that make sense? Everybody get that idea? Lateral movement. You'll throw the bad guy off. Incorporate your lateral movement. Again, start your motion and your extension at the same time. Stop your lateral movement right before you reach extension. We'll use the high center chest box for now until we get used to the lateral movement. Up! Don't look at the gun. When you're done with your shot string, make sure that you have visualized the bad guy being down first, and then begin to put your head on a swivel. Look around. Don't just turn your head. Fixate on things. Fixate on your neighbor's target. Look behind you and fixate on myself or Jason or Steven or Toad. Okay? Up! Try not to move while you're shooting. Be planted before you shoot. Good work. Up! Assess. Look around. Find things to look at. Find your bad guy if you need to. Up! Up! I'm watching some good movement. Make sure we're assessing. Assess in the ready position. 6! 1 round at the shape containing the number. Up! Up! Solid work, Steven. Solid work. Up! Don't look at the gun. Don't look at the gun. 3! Two. 7. Six. 7.